We got people coming in fast now, so we should be able to get started in a minute. Thanks for everybody for coming in. I appreciate it.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, how's it going, sir?
Pretty good, buddy. I'm just going to go hide on the side here. Watch the show.
All right. Chime in if you need anything.
You got
I think my favorite manager just got on. I hope that's her. Kara.
Yes.
All right. How's it going?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Every day is a great day to be Mitch.
Yes.
I'm doing awesome. How are you guys doing with the weather and stuff? Or is everything okay with you and yours?
What's today? Thursday. It has been a long week.
I bet.
It's been a really long week. But
Yeah,
we've shut the store down and we are waiting till the roads are conducive to drive on. So it looks like tomorrow we'll be opening back up.
Okay. Well, I've been thinking about all my Southeast Texas folks. I feel so bad for you guys.
The biggest thing is not the weather outside. The biggest thing is the power outages. Nobody has electricity. Everybody's got bursted pipes. Everyone's got, mess to clean up. Ceilings have fallen. It's a lot of home damage from the busted pipes.
About a third
company over there at Nissan.
About a third of our mock employees in Houston have busted pipes. It's going to be a rough minute for everybody. That's
for sure.
But thanks for joining, even though you're going through a bunch of stuff. I appreciate you being on.
Of course.
A lot of really good relationships, so many of them. The older,
Right, some more makeup while we.
And we have we got a lot of people on. I'll give it a few minutes, just past 10, and we'll get started to give everyone a chance to log in. I appreciate everybody joining, and we'll get it kicked off here in a minute. And I am recording this. If you know of a manager who just couldn't make it due to the weather and all the challenges that are everywhere, I can send them a copy of this. So again, we got about 30 people. We'll wait just a minute and then we'll get started.
Get it, babe.
You got no idea.
Stop.
I don't see if we should.
And we still have people joining, so we'll let everybody get in and get settled before we begin. And thanks again for everybody for being on. I appreciate it. We still have a couple of people coming in. That's good. And I believe Andy is on. Andy, we can get started whenever you say.
I say we get started.
Okay, cool.
Hey, let me real quick then, just so everybody, we're trying to do stuff to where we can make it easier for us to have opportunities to train advisors, right? So we built the onboarding book a few years back, trying to get it so it's easier for you guys to put it in front of a new advisor. Then we launched the Garff University, and we're like 60% complete with the first section of that. We'll put in some more training on that. But then if you remember in the past, like 3 or 4 years ago, Mock used to come around and offer their ACE training program, and we would get 20 or 30 advisors in a room, and the person that I dealt with the most was Nick. And so Nick would go through and he would train on specific things, walk around, promise times, selling, and we would try to get them in. And it was difficult to get everybody into a room. And then we would try to train them. And it was like once every 6 months, 8 months, even sometimes a year in the region. And so now speaking with Mitch and Kevin from Mock, we said, hey, we have this opportunity that we could just do this over Zoom. And so would you guys be interested in doing that? And we're saying, absolutely, we would. This will allow us to have multiple dealerships in a meeting at the same time, and we can get small rooms. And then Mitch, which some of you guys have probably already dealt with in the Houston market, will come in and help us train. And some of the thought was, well, of course, if we have a new advisor, we should absolutely get them into this training, but we can also put all of our advisors through this. And the agreement we came upon currently, and we can probably tweak this, is once a month, like I think it's the third Thursday every single month through 2021, we're going to have Mitch offer a class, and we told him to focus on like the selling aspect, right? Let us deal with the process, and he's going to focus on the selling. And then what our struggles are going to be, if we're only going to 10 to 12 people into a class, how many, we have 250 advisors in our company. Are we going to be able to get everybody through? So what I would like to do is potentially start with, if we have brand new advisors, I just want to take those lists and sign them up and get them in those classes. But then if you have somebody that you're saying, hey, I want to go through, I would ask that you email me and we can try to get it on there. And then Mitch has done this with a few stores. And so I'm going to turn it over to him and let him walk you through what this is going to look like. And then, of course, you guys can always get on the training just to see the training. But I'll turn it over to Mitch and we'll figure out, and he can walk us through what it's going to look like. And then we can tweak this as we go, right? So if we want to add things to it, we can. But I sat through one with Northwest a couple weeks ago, and it worked really well. And so I'm excited to give it a try and have everybody have an opportunity to get some of their advisors through this to help. So I'll turn it over to you, Mitch.
All right, my name is Mitch. I'm the corporate trainer for My Products, which essentially just means that I get to talk to a bunch of folks just like you. Couple of things that I want to share with you guys before I dive into the material. I'm born and raised in Southeast Texas. I was victimized by Hurricane Harvey. I've since relocated my family from Southeast Texas to Colorado to get away from hurricanes. I have hurricane-itis. So definitely with my stores in Houston, I feel for you for the ice storm. I know that it's real serious, and you're going to have a lot of people that are hurting and families that are hurting, and my heart goes out to you. Second, I still see a bunch of folks in masks, and I always just want to start off by thanking you guys and gals in the field that are doing hard work to afford a guy like me the luxury of working from my little studio that I've created in my house since COVID. So what I have done is I used to have like a day-long training. It was actually 3 days. I had about 20 hours of material, and we would bring people into our warehouse in Houston, and we would talk about everything. And we would start off with, meet and greets all the way to active delivery tips. And we would just invite people, and we'd have breakfast and lunch, and they would be gone from work for a couple of days, and we would just rotate folks through. And that kind of morphed into me traveling around the country and speaking to folks like you in person, which led to me sitting around a bunch while your people worked, which is understandable. I always share with folks that, I'm here for you, not the other way around. Last year, about this time, when COVID started getting scary, I took it as an opportunity to dice up my training into really biteable, eatable segments that I could get somebody on the computer. I should have, knock on wood, I got a wooden head. I should have invested in Zoom when I got on, because I've been on about a year. But it has been an opportunity of a lifetime for me. I reach a lot more people now than ever. And I feel that it's the way that I've divided up the training is really easy. So what I do, I have about 16 different classes, and I'll spot shadow a few of those. But what I do, I have teach classes and I have preach classes. Okay. A teach class is best done with about a dozen or fewer service advisors. It's me interacting with them. It's calling on them. And I'm not calling on you, but I see all your names. It would be like, Ryan, tell me, share with me what you're trying to do when you go out for your walk around. What's your goals? Ryan Porter, what do you do? And I call on them and I get them to interact on very specific things. And we can do role play. We can bounce ideas off of each other's. Those are my teach classes. I have preach classes where we have a topic that's more of a lecture form, where I'm just sharing things with the customer. Like our product knowledge class, I have a class that's called All Fluids Go Bad, where I start with ACR brake fluid, and I go brake, coolant, diff, power steering, and trans. We go through every service. We talk about strategies that I like to get done at a dealership. Be it menus or an interval chart or setting up the multi-point inspection. I go through the strategies of all those. Most of those are just me talking and very little interaction with the group. So those can be done with you guys. You know, I could have 50 or 100. I could have 1,000 people in a Zoom session like that. So we have teach classes, we have preach classes. So how it looks and works, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Hopefully you can see this okay. I post handouts in chat, and they can click on them or they can just follow along with me. And I just start talking to them. This first page that you see will be one of the exercises that I do with every new advisor that I meet. I try to find what their strength is. And when I am teaching, I normally keep this up so we can take notes. I point to the screen, and obviously, I'm gonna take it off of screen share for a minute. I watch the people that are interacting with me, and I make them take notes. And I say, no, write this down. I'm a former teacher and coach. I taught history and math in middle school and in high school. So I still have that teacher's mentality of note taking, and I tell people what to do. So I come off like the mean teacher at times, but I share stuff on the screen and when I'm teaching. And then when I'm preaching, when I want to reach people, I take it off of screen share and I just start talking to people. And I ask them, you know, what's working for you in this segment of business? What's not working for you? What are some things that we can do as a team to get better? My first class, you guys have shown an inclination to want to do your brand new advisors first. That is the screen that I was sharing with you. This is my green pea packet. So again, like I start off with their strengths and I try to build around that. And I ask them, I don't ask everybody, but with my green peas, I ask them, what's your number one attribute? What makes you tick? Are you customer service related? Is it honesty? Is it integrity? What is your word? And then I take notes during those the beginning of that session, and I go back to that as I get with your advisors. And I say, Andy, you told me that your word was integrity. Do you think that any of this compromises your integrity? And they say, no. Does this build upon your strength? And then I go into basic vocabulary. Again, I'm a teacher. I share with folks words that they should avoid, and I try to substitute those with positive words that lead to action. And I want to reward action, and I want to dissuade people from being inactive. So I go through that. I talk about the importance of the walk around. Now, I have an entire walk around class. It's about 45 minutes long where we dive into each and every aspect of the walk around. But with green peas, what I just want to introduce to them is that you don't learn from being inside. You learn from being outside. So you need to get your behind outside. We need to get you interacting with the customer, because that's where you learn the most. This is trial by fire. So sitting inside, that's not where we get better. We get better by going outside. So I give them specific things to look for during each segment of their job. So like, what can I share with somebody who's been working 2 days that they can take and practice outside? So like the usage of a color-coded tread depth gauge, or checking for lot damage. And again, all of this is customizable with like the highlights and points that you want to get across to your people. If you just share with me what you want to get across, then I'll preach your message to the folks. So I talk about vocabulary. I get people outside. I want them to set up the multi-point inspection properly. So we go through and I share with them tips about that video multi-point inspection that you guys are utilizing, and sharing with them as a young advisor how to get better at going over what that certified technician put into that multi-point inspection. So that's a class that I would love to give to your green peas. And I touch on product again a little. I don't want to get them wrapped up into thinking that they got to sell brake fluid. That's not what I want to teach a green pea at all. I want to teach a green pea to be better. And I put better in air quotes because better means something different to everybody. So I just want to try to get them to progress and teach them the fundamentals of being a salesperson. Another class that I really like is called my success cycle class. I give people word tracks. I teach it like I teach a song. I always bring up the national anthem and the different variations of that same song that's been played for hundreds of years. And I share with people that I just want to help you find your voice. And then I challenge them to go out and sing it, to do the very best they can at the words that they think are most important. So I have a 70-second speech that I divide up into, and I go over about every 3 words. I really get them to focus on each and every word that they speak to the customer is very important. So what words work for you, what don't? We get a little sheet of paper, we write down the words they like, we subtract the words that they don't like. I have a product class, All Fluids Go Bad. That's definitely my first preach class, where I just go through strategies and talk about like how you can pitch something and when you should be able to pitch it. What's the benefit of it? That's a cool class. I have a class called LOF My Butt, and I can send everybody. I have all of the descriptions of these classes on a single flyer, but LOF My Butt is getting out of the mindset that we do oil changes. I challenge people. We don't do oil changes at Northwest Dodge. We do 5,000 mile services. We do 10,000 mile services. And I want to pitch everything up front in the drive. I want to sell stuff on the drive before the multi-point inspection. And I'm talking about wipers and windshield treatment, nitrogen if you have it, things that we can pitch on the drive to oil change customers. So that's an entire class. I'm a big believer in goals. I got a goals class, what you can break down, what the percentages are, anything that you do track. I can help you sell those individual items like air filters and cabin air filters and pitches like that. Warranty. You guys probably have not utilized the mock warranty at all. You hold that warranty yourself, so it's a little different than ours. But if you want to incorporate that into your sales pitch, we can do that as well. That's just a few of the classes. So I've been talking for 5 or 6 minutes. Any questions so far? Questions, comments, concerns? You can drop them in the chat if you don't want to speak. If you do want to speak, just blur it out. But I'm just kind of giving you the overview of what we got. A smaller class, a teach class that I think down the road, maybe 3 months in, when people have practiced what we taught them, is my role-playing class. I can send you guys the questions before I get with your people, but I want to ask them to pitch me stuff, and I'm rough on them. I ask them to pitch me just like I'm a customer. I come back with objections. I rough them up. I want to make sure that all of the common objections that your service advisors hear every day, that we cover those in depth. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I'm not a decision maker. I don't understand what you're talking about. My owner's manual says I don't have to do that. I want to get them where they're rapid fire, where they're anticipating the no's, where they actually want to get told no. I have a contest called 10 and 5 where I actually reward the service advisors told no the most in a day. I love being told no, because when a customer's telling you no, at least you're asking for the business. So I invite people, I encourage them to get told no. So that's fun class. My walk around class, we can do it. Like, I don't need a car. I just call on people and I say, and again, I'm not calling on you. I'm just using the example. Chad Crane, talk to me. When a customer fires up a vehicle, what are you looking for? What are you listening for? What if you hear it? And I tap on, what if you hear this noise? What would you say? Most of them don't say the right things. They're not setting up the diagnostics from our certified technician. I don't want to diagnose on the drive. All I want to do is talk about my teammates. I want to talk about those certified technicians. So walk around, that's a big class. I have a class called Name Tag. Name tag, everything that's important to your dealership is written right on your name tag. And I talk to them like, do you know what your dealership is good at? Do you know what you're doing in the community? Are you using all of the assets that are at your dealership to the fullest capabilities? Are you talking about your teammates? Are you talking about the ease of doing business with shuttles or valet services or anything that makes your dealership special? That's fun class. I have a class that I break down just AC services. Many of you are in warm weather climates, so that one will be a good class to give in the spring. We have that active delivery class, a class about taking phone calls. A very popular one is my picture's worth 1,000 words. What is a video worth? I get with your technicians and we go over best practices for your video multi-point inspections. I have small scripts written on about 15 different items. Like when you're videoing, let the camera be your eyes and you be the voice. Do you promote yourself on the videos? How are you using the video to your maximum capabilities? And then everybody that goes through that class, I go back, and if you allow me, I go into text to drive and I watch the videos of your guys, and I send you like and again, I don't want to bother Kara, but she's been through the class, but I send Kara notes on what her technicians are doing, what I like about their videos, what I don't like about their videos, and then let you guys use that as coaching. I also do 5-minute classes where if you want to bring everybody into a meeting before work, we can just talk about one thing, like working on the close. Are your people closing people the exact same way every time? So I have 5-minute classes about closing, 5-minute classes about goals, 5-minute classes about how to sell a fluid exchange. So we can do things like that as well. We're open. If you guys do want this beyond just one day a month, you can reach out to me individually. We can work stuff out. I have openings just about every day. And we can personalize everything to you. I keep people interacted. I call on people. My only caveat that I want to share with you guys, I'm rough on people. I am. I'm going to push them. I think if you don't, you're really not getting the best out of people. So I'm going to push them. I'm not going to be mean or rude, but when I hear something I don't like, I'm going to share with them. No, I don't like it. Say it again. Do it again. We're going to do it until we do it right. I don't want to practice until practice doesn't make you perfect. Only perfect practice makes you perfect. So we got to teach people how to do things the right way the first time. So that's kind of like an overview. What do y'all think? You interested? Questions, comments, concerns? We'll open it up to the crowd.
Hey, Mitch, so I got a couple questions.
Yes.
If they wanted to do this specifically with just their team and maybe set up half of them, would they just contact you and say, hey, let's talk about this?
Yes, sir. Send me an email. I mean, but you can definitely call me or we'll Zoom. But yeah, just share with me what you want and we'll just mimic it during training.
Okay. And then the third Thursday of every month, here's my take on it in the beginning. If it's okay with the managers, I'm basically just going to pull the new advisor list out of Workday, and I'm going to send an invite to you and your advisor, and then just ask that you put those in there, and I'll coordinate with Mitch about, hey, these are all advisors that are 3 months, right? Or 5 months old, or even 1 month old. And we'll do that for a little bit, just so we can go through. It'll probably be like a 45 an hour class, and he'll walk through some of the basics. Some of the things that they should be learning already, but it will be somebody outside of the dealership walking them through it. If that's okay with you guys, that's what I'd like to do. And I'll take the lead on making sure those advisors get invites into the training. But outside of that, if you did want to set something up like Kara did with Mitch, you're more than welcome to say, hey, I just want to focus on this one thing, and grab, he can do it in 2 sections and grab half your advisors and spend 30 minutes going over something. And he's got all the curriculum ready to go. So.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody have any specific questions or comments or concerns that you want to make sure before I tear into action with you guys? Anybody?
Is there an ideal number for class size that you like to work with?
Yeah, I mean, on classes like role playing, where I'm going to ask them to interact with me for a few minutes at a time. 6 to 12, that's about the max, because I don't want people sitting around while I'm training their friend. So on those type of classes, honestly, the smaller, the better. Also with that though, the smaller class, the quicker I can get through. So say you have 4 service advisors, we could meet 2 and 2 for an hour each time, or I could take one of them for 30 minutes. Cause you know what I mean? Like I can get everything that I need done with 2 people an hour. I can do one person in 30 minutes. So we could just set up a 10, a 10:45, a 1:15 and a 2:30. And like, I don't need to be on like we got to do something at 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock. With Zoom, I mean, we can get, I can do a 9:15 and a 10:35. Like it can be like TBS back in the old days. So it's customizable. With the preach classes, if you want, like, tell us about mock. That's an hour class, and all of you can invite everybody. I think I can do up to 999 people or whatever in a session. So on those classes where it's just essentially me speaking to people and not calling and interacting, more the merrier. Good question.
Is your approach different, depending on like if it's a domestic brand or an import brand or a Highline brand, anything like that?
No, sir. I believe that Mercedes customers are just as broke as Chevy customers. I hear it all the time. So that's not a real Mercedes customer. No, sir. Now, the one thing that does change with some of that are the intervals in which we should offer services. So like on a Nissan, for instance, I don't know all of your makes, but they do brake fluid exchanges at 20,000 miles. So does Mercedes. But on a Chevy, we could probably push that to 30. So some of the specifics, which fuel service that we used, are we going to do an injector service or a decarb service? Some of those nuances may be different from European or domestic, but no, sir. I believe that positive language works with Dodge customers as well as Audi. Anybody else? What y'all got? Questions, comments, concerns? I know y'all got more than that. Push me around. Anybody?
Yeah.
No?
Will you have a schedule for the weekly stuff you're doing, like ahead of time?
Yeah. So definitely the next third Thursday is going to be this class. This is my green pea class. This will be what I go over. I can send it to Andy or what. Oh, and goals. That's a big one. I push people to set some goals, but yes, sir. At the beginning, I guess we'll do that one. But in the ensuing classes, once we get our sea legs under us, we'll post what that class is going to be about. So you can match the service advisors that are deficient in that category to that class. Yes, sir.
Yeah, here's what I would say, Russ, on that is if we do a class that's more of a preach and we can invite 900 people, I will send something out telling you this is everybody can join, right? If you want to do something individually with your store, then let's work with Mitch directly and say, hey, let's figure out what it is. And then I will take the lead on the new advisors. I'm going to pull those lists every single month and make sure those are sent out for invites to get them in the classes. And then if we go even after that and say, hey, we're going to do a class on specifically this, I might send an invite specifically to some stores and say, hey, grab 1 or 2 people and have them join this class. So that's the way I think that it will work for us for now. And then, like I said, we'll probably change things around. But I'll try to notify you if we do a class saying, hey, it's not one that he's going to have a lot of participation. It's more of he's going to walk you through the whatever, this topic. So
That sounds good.
So Andy or Mitch, or either one of you, is there, I know we went through a lot, is there a list that you can say or send to us that shows I have a class that's a preach on mocks, I have a class that's interaction on every different subject that you have those short classes on, so we can kind of gauge which of our advisors we would want in that and who would be best served by going to those?
Yes, sir. I'll send it to Andy when we're finished. Yes, I have that.
That'd be
it's
perfect.
neat.
Thank you.
Okay. Good question. Anybody else? What y'all got? How about goals? Y'all big on goals? You shake your head yes, shake your head no. What you got? Y'all got goals? Good. If I speak to your people specifically, I'd love to know what your goals are. They're not the same everywhere. So whatever your goals are, whatever we're trying to reach, let me know and I'll preach your message for you. And again, I'm talking from effective labor rates to, how many AC services you do and anything in between. But I am a big believer on goals. I like writing them down. You're 80% more likely to hit your goal if you write it down. So I'm big on that. I push people to set goals, and I got good goal speeches or whatever. So that's good. Also tracking success. Where are you during your month? Awareness is a big key. So I'll speak to your folks about their personal awareness on, how much money are they making? What can we do to make more? Anything else? Questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? Cool. Andy, what you got? What else you want me to go over?
That's it. I see that Kara's on the phone. Can I just ask her for 2 minutes, give us a brief of because I know that he's been working with you about what you've just done with the advisors, specifically. And I think you guys have met more than once with your advisor team.
Yes. Hi, Andy. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, first off, I just would like to brag. Mitch has done a very good job with our team. I reached out to him on specifics like attention to detail, walk arounds, upsells, goals. We split our drive. I have 10 advisors. I split them in half. I did 5 and 5, and we just set up 2 different classrooms. It was on a Monday while everybody was there. So it was really effective. And that's about advisors. I also want to add, he's also done technician. We've implemented video MPIs in our area, and Carl has made it mandatory for us to utilize text to drive video MPIs. And so I've also implemented training with Mitch with technicians on how to do videos and talking to the customers, staging videos. And I've seen an increase in commodities. Our VIR upsells have gone from a little under 40% to now we're consistently at 62, 65%. So also with technicians, I've seen a huge increase in sales with videos. So I'm already ready to do my second technician training, but I definitely want to continue doing the advisor training because it's very effective.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, video multi-point inspection stuff, and I just clicked on one because I watch it. It's big. I start off my technician training by sharing with customers that my word tracks begin with our certified technician, Brian. And video multi-point inspections and their expertise is key. My dad is still a technician. He's 70-something years old and still turns wrenches. So I have great respect for the work that those men and women in the back do. And I try to use the video and pitch it as a way to promote themselves. Wouldn't it be cool if a technician was so good that when a customer booked an appointment that they said, I want Hank to be my technician. I like the craftsmanship or workmanship that Hank did. So I share with them, anytime that you hit the record button on your video, you should reintroduce yourself. My name's Mitch. I'm your certified technician today that's handling your XYZ service, and promote yourself. And again, I love staging the videos. So if you guys aren't staging your videos, you're missing out. And we need to do some training on how to stage your videos from working from left to right or top to bottom. Where do you start? Where do you stage? Because you've already done the multi-point inspection. All we're really doing is video and the highlights. So what are you trying to highlight? So it's just a little bit different. It's like selling your house. So anyway, minimalization on videos is key. So anyway, I love talking about video multi-points. If you're not doing that, you really should be doing that. Anybody else? What you got? What y'all got before we bounce? Y'all need anything else? Okay, Andy, it's all yours, man.
Nope, I appreciate it, Mitch. Everybody, I'll send out Mitch's contact, and then I'll take the lead on getting some of the training set up. But if you have something specific you want to do in-house, let Mitch know, and then we'll coordinate something with that. And if you have any questions that come up, just shoot me an email, and we can go through it and figure it out. But I appreciate your time. I just want to get the ball rolling on this and wanted to make sure everybody knew what we were doing, that I just didn't start sending invites out and you didn't know what was happening. And then the good news is this is part of our contract with Mock. So this doesn't cost us any money additional, right? This is just part of it. So we should attempt to try to utilize this the best we can. So I appreciate it.
I'm free. So anyway, well,
free.
cool. Well, thanks for being on, everybody. And again, for those that are affected by the ice storm, my heart goes out for you. And if you need anything, give me a buzz. You guys have a great day.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.